So, I mean, if you'd like to just go ahead and, introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your role at Kidas.
Yeah, sure. So my name is Ron Kerbs. I'm the founder and CEO of Kidas. I'm originally from Israel, moved to the US a few years ago to do my MBA. Um, while staying in the US, and I'm a gamer myself, I realized that there is a huge risks for children and also for adults when they play video games. A lot of stuff like scams, sextortion, bullying, harassment, a lot of toxic behavior that we shouldn't suffer from. I also researched the problem, and I realized that the big companies, Microsoft, Sony, and so on, the big gaming studios as well, currently don't have solutions for those problems, specifically for voice communication toxicity.
Hmm.
So I decided to create a solution for that. My background, I have an engineering background. I brought to the team some of my old teammates. We were all working on national security, and we've decided to create Kidas. Kidas is basically an online protector for kids in gaming. We use AI to analyze voice conversations, and by doing that, we're able to detect in very high accuracy cases of cyberbullying, harassment, scams, and those type of toxic behaviors. We detect more than 30 types of risks. And our goal is to make gaming safer for kids, adults, and the gaming community.
See, you say you worked in security before. It was in security, so it's good to know we've got some highly qualified people sort of actually seeking that out. So can you tell us a little bit about how Kidas actually works? How does it, protect?
Yeah, so it's very easy. So parents install it on their kids' computer, gaming computer. And once they do that, our AI automatically analyze on the computer, analyze voice communication. And once it detects any signs of bullying, harassment, scams, parents and kids get online alerts. So basically, they get alerts with recommendations on how to deal with the situation. So we work with children experts, with psychologists, and they tell us what are the stuff that kids need to know in order to handle the situation. It's not just physically handle the situation, but it also emotionally handle the situation. Sometimes kids are not equipped to deal with those situations emotionally, so they need to talk about those situations, cases of scams. We had a lot of kids suffering from scams. Someone told them, send me your Xbox password, and then stealing some of their credits, or send me some other usernames or password. And kids get really frustrated, and we need to help them emotionally. So we detect those stuff. We help parents and kids know about those stuff in advance, and we help them with recommendations on how to deal with that. Also with bullying, also with other types of toxic behaviors. So it's very easy. You just download it, install it. It takes less than 30 seconds, and you start receiving those alerts if anything happens.
That's really good. So it's not actually censoring out, like it's not blocking out words or anything. It's keeping the parents involved in the, keeping an eye on their kids, because of course they will know and want to help the kids themselves or help their own children, not the kids. But
yeah, yeah, definitely. And one of our big beliefs is keeping child's private information private. So we don't share any private information with parents. So parents are not getting any transcripts of the conversations. They're not getting any recording of the conversations. We don't use the conversations or the recording for any other thing but protecting kids. So we don't sell it to any third party. We don't use it for ads. It's our AI reviewing those stuff and alerting parents about those cases without giving them the exact wording, and just recommendations and brief summary of what happened.
See, that's actually incredibly reassuring, because of thinking of it from a kid's perspective. You wouldn't really want your parents getting a transcript. Like, even now, I probably wouldn't want my parents being emailed with a transcript of what I've been saying to my friends online. So yeah, that's a nice reassuring for the kids as well. It's protecting them, but it's not spying on them.
Yeah, and we know that, you know, most kids are, you know, good online, and they may tease each other. They may use some, you know, some get really emotional in gaming and may curse a little bit.
Mm.
But those are not the stuff that we're learning. We're detecting hardcore sexual harassment, hardcore bullying, online predators. And these are the people who should be, you know, um, blocked from those games. And we actually recommend kids and parents how to block those users, how to report those users, in order to keep the gaming community safer for kids.
So beyond sort of advising how to just block them, does the recommendations you give come with any kind of like emotional counseling or any kind of recommendations on that side of things?
Yeah, so we're not certified in any way to
Mm.
to do, you know, emotional to give emotional recommendations, but we definitely use children psychiatrists who help us, our advisors, and they have written our program. And parents do get, you know, a manual how to talk about those discussions and how to handle those discussions. So if someone was, you know, um, harassed, sexually harassed while playing a game, there are some, you know, ways to deal with that. There are some ways to emotionally detect those situations and emotionally solve those situations. So parents actually get recommendations how to lead a discussion with their kids about those stuff, how not to be a bystander. Sometimes it doesn't happen to the kid itself. Sometimes, you know, the kid was just, you know, playing and it happened to someone else. And it's very important for those kids who are sometimes, you know, very young, 8 or 9, and to understand that it's not acceptable. And if they hear something like that, they should help another person, and they should also, you know, report the people who do that.
Mm.
And so definitely help them understand what is considered harassment, bullying, and scams, first of all. So the first step is recognizing the problem, and the second step is basically equipping them with a toolkit to deal with those problems.
So does this also have an adults option by chance? Because if I know myself, if I get some toxic abuse from Twitter or whatnot, I feel like I need to curl up for a little while and have a cry. So
That's a great idea. We're currently focusing on kids and preteens, so kids who are 8 to 15 years old. But definitely, I think there is, there is a viable path for us to do that also on for adults. So definitely something that we may do in the future. Currently, we're focusing on kids.
fair enough, yeah. So was the inspiration behind this, is it from a personal experience you've had with you know, any of this online kind of negativity or harassment, or you know, where did this this idea come from?
Yeah, so it actually started during my time at Warren. I was attending business school, the Warren Business School, and I've read an article about a girl from Germantown that's, you know, in the Philly area, Philadelphia area, and she was sexually assaulted by someone she met on Snapchat. So I was researching the problem, and I've seen that there is, you know, huge problem, big problems in, you know, online social media, and kids communicating with each other. And once I, you know, evaluated it even more, I realized that it's even bigger in gaming. And as a gamer myself, I knew that there is some problems in, you know, in online gaming, but I thought, it's not that big. Maybe I'm just, you know, maybe it's just me experiencing the toxic language in gaming. Maybe some other people don't experience it, and maybe don't other people don't take it so seriously as I did. But once I talked with other gamers, with other kids about the problem, I realized that it's a huge problem, and currently there is no solution for that. So it's actually started with social media, with Snapchat, with an article that I've read, and actually moved to online gaming and reconnecting my own gaming behavior, because I was spending a lot of time playing as a kid, mostly PlayStation.
Well, I mean, yeah, you've been in the gaming what they called lobbies and such for many years. By the sounds of it, I used to play Halo, and you kind of come to expect almost the kind of level of toxicity, and frankly, it is quite strange that we consider that an acceptable thing, especially with kids now. I mean, gaming is massive these days, so a lot younger kids are playing it than when I was playing it back in, my high school times. So it's good to see something's actually being done. As for that though, I play mostly on consoles. By the sounds of it, this is a PC. Is there any sort of outlook to bring this to your PlayStations and your Xboxes?
Yeah, definitely. So we're starting with PC because it's easier, and kids play most of the time on PCs. It might be surprising because we know a lot of people who have Xbox or PlayStation, but actually the heavy gamers are using PCs. So we wanted to start with the heavy gamers who suffer from that, a lot. And then our goal is to expand to Xbox, to PlayStation, and to other platforms. Definitely mobile gaming as well. But we're starting with PC, and we're definitely looking forward to working with Microsoft and Sony to solving this problem. We follow the footsteps of other great apps and solutions that started in PC gaming. I think Discord is a great example. They started in PC gaming and they expanded to Xbox and PlayStation, and that's the path that we were expecting.
Well, there's definitely a market in consoles. I mean, almost exclusively play on consoles and can say I've experienced a whole lot of negativity in various chats. It's quite nice. They block out, at least a lot of it blocks out the messages advertising to go to my specific website. But no, it would be good if someone was actually listening to the voices, not just the messages. So obviously at Common Gamer here, we're championing positive gaming. And we've previously done articles regarding toxic behavior in game chats. Now, ironically enough, it's these posts we make where we actually get the feedback from negative people saying things like, back in the day, we used to have it a lot worse in gaming lobbies and we just dealt with it. So do you have any kind of, what would you say to those kind of reactions to it?
Yeah, I think a lot of the stuff that, used to be acceptable are not acceptable anymore. And, people used to smoke in airplanes back in the days. And the fact that, people used to do that doesn't mean it's okay. And it doesn't mean that it's something that we should expect and we should accept. So definitely I want to tell those people, yeah, you suffer from that growing up, or you suffer from that when playing, back in the days. It doesn't mean that kids these days need to suffer from that, and we definitely need to solve that. We're moving forward as gamers, as a society, and it's our goal, it's our mission to make it safer for kids and more inclusive environment for everyone. And people shouldn't suffer from toxicity while playing. And the goal is to have fun, and most of the people, some people do enjoy it, but most of the people don't enjoy suffering, racist comments, sexist comments, and other toxic comments. It's not something that, people enjoy. And one of our goals is, we do know that some people enjoy those stuff. I don't enjoy it personally, but I do know that some players enjoy it. And our goal is basically to make sure that, people who don't want to suffer from those problems and play with other players who don't want to suffer from those problems. And those toxic players play with other toxic players. They can play with other toxic players. They don't need to harass the rest of us. So definitely we don't want to, we don't want to block those players completely from gaming. We want to make sure that we have, safe space for people who want it.
That sounds a lot, when you were mentioning it, sort of drops an email to the parents. It isn't banning people from chats. It's just giving them the tools so they can handle this. And hopefully it will bring up a generation of kids that are a little bit, well, hopefully kinder than we were anyway back in the day. So where can we learn a bit more about your software anyway? For anyone listening and may want to check it out.
Yeah, so definitely check it out. It's on our website. It's www.kidas. Kidas is KIDAS.net. You can download it. You get it for free for the first month as a parent. And we definitely encourage kids, to share it with their friends. So parents and kids get referral codes so they can share it with their friends and earn some Kidas points that they can use to, to get gaming related stuff, gaming related equipment, because we do think that we should share our revenues with the gaming community. So every time you use our software, you're basically getting some of our revenues, because us keep the gaming community safer for everyone.
That's a great idea. The gamifying the life of sharing this out. I know I'm a sucker for reward points in any way. So lastly, just to finish off, what games have you been playing recently?
Yeah, so I'm a big fan of GTA.
Oh,
I
yeah.
have been playing GTA for a long time. I know that they didn't have a new one for a while. I also really like NBA, so have been playing the new NBA for a while. And Call of Duty. Call of Duty was always my go-to game. So those are my three favorite games for the last few years.
I'd say Call of Duty and GTA. I can see why you've got quite a background on hearing a lot of bullying in chats.
Yeah, definitely. You should play Warzone. It's almost impossible not to hear, those toxic comments while playing Call of Duty Warzone, specifically on, on consoles.
Our fingers crossed. We start expecting better, and in a few years' time, there'll be a lot less of this horrible toxic environment online, thanks to programs like your own.
Hopefully, yeah.
Right. Well, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you, Ron. Thank you very much for taking the time. If you have any questions or anything, please drop me a message. Say I'll cut the interview at this point. So if you just want to say goodbye or.
Yeah. So first of all, thank you. First of all, thank you for having me here. I enjoyed our conversation. Also want to encourage our listeners to go onto our website. And basically, we have a lot of resources about gaming and toxic gaming and how to handle it. So it's free. Go read those resources specifically for parents, and know what your children are doing online. And we have the resources for you to read about it. So definitely encourage your listeners to go to our website.
All right, here it is. That's kidas.com. Yes?
.net.
.net, apologies. So that's kidas.net, KIDAS.net. All right, well, thank you very much, Ron.
Thank you very much. Have a great day.